From the art of the deal to keeping it real. Live from the Simply Vegas studios, it's The Power Move with John Gafford.
Back again for another episode of The Power Move. I'm your host, John Gafford. With me to the left, me as always, Colt, the Bulgarian mongoose, Amidan.
That's right.
How are you, Colt?
I'm doing good.
You doing good?
Yeah. Beautiful day. Not 120 out.
I'll tell you this. We got a great show today, man. As markets change, as business changes, as everything happens, everything goes along, there's certain things that are a necessity to survive if you're in business, let's just say, to survive in these markets as we go along. And one of the things I would say you have to have is an elite level of customer experience. It's something that we preach amongst all of our brands. And I got to tell you, I went to eat at one of my favorite spots on Saturday. And got to see one of my favorite people. And to me, like, we live in Las Vegas, Colt, don't we? Is this where we live?
Yes.
I mean, some of us more than others, but
yeah.
We live here in Las Vegas, which is the entertainment capital of the world. And I got to tell you, the one guy, when it comes to elite customer experience in the hospitality industry that I know, I conned him into coming in today. So, yeah, without further ado there, guys, this is my good friend, John O'Donnell. John, how are you?
Good, very good. Very honored to be here, gentlemen. Very honored to be here.
Yeah.
That must have been a strong martini we gave you Saturday night, Johnny. I got you convinced about all these wonderful things you're saying.
No. I'm going to tell you a funny story about that, though. I'll tell you a funny story.
I'm like, what?
Is
he talking about me?
He already knows.
No, he's going to be talking about you. I don't know.
No, I'm going to tell you a funny story, which is this. So my wife, occasionally she has an alter ego named Vodka Gidget.
It doesn't come out much.
No, not often. But Vodka Gidget will tell you about it, right? And as we're driving home from you, because she drank more than I did because I was driving, and as we're driving home from you, I look over at her and she's just got this look on her face, like just kind of angry a little bit. And I said, "You all right?" She's like, "No." I said, did you maybe drink too much?" She's like, I think maybe a little bit too much. And I said, she goes, he made my drinks too strong. And hang on a second. She goes, he made my drink too strong. And I said, "But baby, you're drinking martinis." And she goes, "Yeah, but no, they were lemon drop martinis. And he should have put more drop in my martinis than he did vodka." And I was like, I'm just not even going to argue with that. We're just going to let it go. So yeah, I guess when Gidget comes in, more drop and less vodka. We'll go from that. But
we had a good time, though, right?
We had a great time. We had a great time. But again, John's been in this town for a really long time. He is a part of one of the best restaurant groups here in an ownership capacity. And I want to kind of pick his brain about what, he does and how he does what he does to make sure everybody that comes in feels special. Because, I believe success leaves clues. And I think that you can learn. I think we can all learn a lot from just what this guy does. And we're lucky to have you here. Super happy to have you, which is great. So, I'm not even, normally this is the time when we kind of get and talk about nonsense. And I even told you we were going to talk about nonsense and what happened. Do you have anything that happened this week, Colt, that we want to talk about? Or do you have anything?
We just want to talk about how my stocks keep crashing.
No.
It's a bunch of nonsense. We don't need to go into
it.
Yeah. I think we could learn a lot more from him than my nonsense.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. I don't think we need to go on your
Tom Cruise?
No,
Or
don't
Tom Hanks?
stop.
You know what? I went and saw Top Gun.
Okay.
Amazing. And I don't like Tom Cruise. He's up there with Tom Hanks. And it was actually a great movie.
I thought it was.
Loved it. Especially that Harold Faltermeyer, that the Top Gun music coming through all the time. You just want to take off. You got to go see it in the movie theater too.
Oh, you do.
You got to have the experience blasting it. Yeah.
You have to. I love how it was like a shot for shot, almost remake at the very beginning. When he took off, I thought that was awesome. But I'm proud of you for going to see a movie with a Tom star.
Yeah, and, he's up there with my Tom Hanks.
I know you hate Tom Hanks. It's just really strange in every direction, but it's all right. Welcome to the podcast anyway.
Yeah.
So let's get right into it with you. So the one thing, and I want to tell you, if you're listening to this, like, well, what qualifies this guy? And you're going to hear the whole story, but I'm going to tell you real quick why this guy's amazing. And look, as much as I like to think that I'm special, as much as I like to think that I am someone that people remember, I genuinely feel that this story could apply to anybody that sits with you at your place.
That was a strong martini, John.
No, it was. No, I'm telling you, we walked in, we sit down, and through the course of our meal, I haven't been to your spot there in probably 6 months, probably 6-7 months. It's been a minute. And then through the course of conversation, as we're sitting there talking, as we always do, you said, hey, have you talked to Myron again?
That's right. Yes.
Yeah, and Myron is the guy that runs the Smith Center. Super lovely guy.
Wonderful person.
Lovely guy. And I met him at your bar. And I met him because you introduced me to him. And that's not the uncanny thing. The uncanny thing was you said, no. You were sitting there, Gidget was sitting there, and Myron was sitting there. And it was 6 months ago. And we walked out of there, and I'm like, dude, I go to the store to buy one thing, and I get there, and I'm like, what am I here to buy? And this guy remembered where I was sitting 6 months ago. And the way that made me feel when I was there, the way that made me feel was
special.
It was special, but it was so much more important to me than how good the food was and how good the drink was, or how much drop was in the lemon drop. It was so much more important to me how you made me feel. And that's, to me, what the key is of elite customer experience. And that's why I hounded you this week to get you in the seat that you're in.
Johnny. Well, hey, Colt, great to be here. And thank you for that wonderful introduction. And we're very blessed. I'm especially very blessed. Yeah. I work for great companies and great people, surrounded by great people. Mm-hmm. Got some great food, got some great drinks. Chef Pat does a great job where I am at One Steakhouse at the Virgin Hotel. Yeah. Plug right there. But John, just the other night when you were in, and when you were in before, one of the beauties, one of the great things that I'm able to do in my position behind the bar is introduce friends to friends, and then new friends to old friends and other people. So, when Myron was sitting beside you 7 months ago, I thought, well, how wonderful. Oh, this is Myron, John, Gidget. Yeah. You guys started talking, communicating. And if there had been other people at the bar on the other side, if there was some kind of alignment, I would try to get you connected. You know what I mean? I love the fact of our community within the community. I love the fact of, like, we just had a birthday party, one of our really good guests' birthday party. And the majority of the people he invited to spend the birthday party at the bar were all folks that he had met over the years at our steakhouse or at our La Comida downtown, our Mexican restaurant downtown, or Crusher the MGM. So it's a huge honor for me, and I get a lot of satisfaction out of that. To be able to see that, it makes me happy. Yeah. It makes me happy to be able to do that. To be able to make those connections work.
Well, if you go back 7 months to after the first podcast we did after I met Myron at your bar, I said I did a whole thing for like probably 5 minutes about if you go to a restaurant, try to eat at the bar because you never know who you're going to meet, right? And that was the driving force behind that, was that influence there. What were you going to say, Colt?
No, I was just going to say, the higher ups in the restaurant industry or the nightclub industry, they're really good at doing that. And that's something I've noticed with the top of the top is connecting people with other people. Is that something you learned growing up or something you learned here in Vegas?
Let's back up. I want to hear the whole story. Right. So walk me through young John O'Donnell.
All right. Well, I was born in the summer of '69.
Okay, got it. Nice. Perfect. Okay.
In Dublin, Ireland, and had lived in the city, then moved down the country. We got in the bar business down there.
So the family was in the bar business?
Yeah, we were in the bar business for a little bit, and then we moved from there into a small town.
What was the first, I always ask everybody that comes here that's successful, I ask this one question. What was the first hustle? What was the first way you were making money? How old were you?
Probably my best gig ever.
What was it?
Altar boy.
You were okay, wait. I was an altar boy too, and I wasn't making money as an altar boy.
Weddings and funerals.
They're
altar boys, yeah.
They break you off to be an altar boy.
Oh yeah, that was the first. That was the first. Yeah, that was. You can't beat that. You know what I mean? Hey, that was a great time. St. Benedict's Church in Raheen.
Light the candles, ring the bells, bring the wine. That's it, buddy.
Run back, light it up, get them in and out. And then it was just a wonderful experience. I remember. I always think back about that, and that was my first gig.
So 12 doing that, I'm guessing.
No, I was about 8 or 9. They start you
young in Ireland.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and I was lucky too. I got to work pretty much the 10 o'clock, the 11 o'clock, and the midday as well sometimes.
Wait, so you got paid every mass you worked?
No. You didn't,
just the special events.
The mass was what you did, and then you got paid for weddings and funerals.
Got it.
It was always an envelope for the altar boys, right? For the weddings and funerals, right? There still is, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Got it. I don't think I ever got a nickel for. I grew up in a small southern town. I never got a nickel for serving anything like that.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then Then we were in the fish business in Ireland, and then
what's the fish business in Ireland?
we had a wholesale retail fish business in the middle of Ireland in the 80s.
These are your parents?
Yes, my parents. Yeah, mom and dad. And
how many brothers and sisters?
The eldest of 5.
Oldest
One brother, 3 sisters. So I still have 2 sisters living back in Ireland. Mom and dad are in New York, and my younger sister, she's in New York. And my brother is in New York too right now as well. So actually, we're all going to be in Ireland in August for like a week and a half.
Oh, it's awesome!
And spending some time with mom and dad. And actually, they were all just here. Everybody was just here back in April. We got to go to see a Knights game, played golf with my dad, my brother, and everything. Great time.
A really close family then.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we have a WhatsApp that pretty much every day.
Yeah.
there's
pictures of kids, there's pictures of this, or pictures of that. And probably after today now, I'll probably put a picture up of being with you.
Oh, we'll get a picture before we go. No, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah. So what age in Ireland did you plan to make the big jump to the States?
Well, I was planning from the age of when I was about that size. So then I got to 19. I'm like, I need to move out.
So you went to school. You finished school in Ireland. All that stuff there.
Oh yeah. Then I moved to London. I moved to London when I was 19. I had a great time there. I moved over there. Worked in some fun places there. I was in restaurant, bar stuff over there too. Mm-hmm. Over there I was a manager.
Right.
And then I moved to New York City in 1993. I'm like, none of this manager stuff. All my friends were making money bartending.
Right.
Let's jump on this
And
wagon
you get to actually come in and go home and leave the job at the
Oh my
work.
God. It was like going to the ATM.
Yeah.
So started off there, and then back in 1996, 95, 96, before I was always intrigued by Las Vegas.
Right. Yeah.
I never actually been to a place that had good weather. You know, growing up in Ireland, it's cold, wet, miserable,
In London and
in London as well. It doesn't make you very happy
it's
every day.
It's like the trifecta of bad weather.
Yeah.
Of all
So I'm like, you know what? Let me do
weather.
something exciting. Let me do something fun. And different folks that I bumped into or met or this or that. And just Vegas was in my head.
Yeah.
And I went down to Liberty Travel. Remember back then you had to go down and walk into a travel agent to buy a ticket?
Yeah.
And I bought a ticket. It was cheaper to buy a return ticket than one way to come to Las Vegas.
Really?
I remember it was during the carpet convention on February 1st, 1996. And I remember telling the hook of the people on board, you're going to Vegas, where are you staying? No idea. What are you going to do? No idea.
Dude, you know what's funny? You know how many people I know that's their Vegas story started just like that?
Yeah.
My favorite was I knew an executive for Lennar at one point. And he said he got drunk, got on the wrong plane in like 1982.
That's when you could do that.
And wound up here.
Exactly. Can't do that.
And wound up here and never left.
Really?
Yes.
It's Vegas.
It was like his 82. It's like I got drunk and got on the wrong plane and just never left.
I think Vegas does. I had a guy that he was higher up in the golf industry, and he just came through to play golf one day and was headed to Arizona and just never left.
Yeah, just never left.
I got a game tomorrow. I'm going to start. And he started hustling people and then sticking around.
So, okay, I want to talk about that because again, that's something that what you just said. So how old are you when this happens?
So I was about 26.
You're about 26.
26, yeah.
So you literally just cashed everything out. And you said, I'm going
There wasn't
with
really
no
a lot to cash.
No, but there was a lot to
I
cash.
had one of those little folding over suit bags, one of those bags you put your suit in. I had the one suit you put on, you tie it.
Yep,
I was like one of those Huckleberry Finn types arriving at the airport. I went down, okay, genius, when I get off the plane, what are you going to do now, right? I'm saying to myself. And I went down to where all the yellow pages were. And there was a free phone. And I saw this Sunrise Villas motel. I'm like, let me call this place up.
Sounds nice.
Called the place up. It was like $130 a week. You have a room? We got a room. And I'd seen these things in a movie. And I'm like, the Wild West. Here I am.
Yeah.
I get the cab. It was a checker cab, checker star cab. 1925. I remember the fare and everything like that. So I walk in. There's bars in the window. I'm like, oh my God, I've seen these in the movies too. What am I going to do here? Sir, I just spoke to you on the phone. He's like, yeah, we got the room. I go, there's the cash. He goes, we don't take cash. He goes, Circle. Anyway, I went up to Circle K, bought a 12-pack of beer, and went back and went up, sat down in my room. What do I do now? And it was one of those old TVs where you had to turn the switch, and go, hey, move it over this way. But next day I walked from Fremont up to the Luxor. And all those iconic things like the TI you'd see.
Wait, you walked from Fremont Street to the Luxor?
Luxor the next morning. Well, I was pretty close to it. I was on East Charleston.
Okay, all right. What month was this?
It was February 1st, 1996.
Okay, good. So it wasn't summertime.
Yeah. Oh, no, but to me that was a beautiful day. It was a beautiful day.
I was going to say, come from New York.
Yeah. And walking down Fremont,
Stop for a second. So what was going through your mind when you were just like, I'm just going to pack up my stuff with zero plan? Okay, let me ask you a question. Do you think that was irresponsible, Or do you think you were just I got balls on me? Because here's the reason I say that is because one of the biggest problems people have with succeeding at anything is getting off zero.
Yeah.
Getting from
Actually
0 to
man.
1. I mean, forget getting to 50.
Yeah.
Most people can't get to 1. And here you are. I mean, that's a pretty decent sized risk, man. Is that something that
It kind of excited me, though, the fact of even around remember the plane, because remember the carpet convention, these folks saying to me, where are you going to stay? Who do you know? And I was like, nobody. What are you going to do? And I was like, I don't know yet. And I remember thinking to myself, scared but excited.
yeah.
Scared but excited. And I was thinking, this is going to be a great story if I pull this off.
Right.
You know? I just said, it's going to be okay. I got cash. I got money.
Yeah.
Did
you think about a worst case scenario, or just determined you were going to figure it out?
I wasn't really scared of that,
Yeah. Burn the bridges,
The motel where I was staying on East Charleston, I was like, man, are all these neighborhoods like that around here?
Little suspect.
What's going on? And all that stuff evolves over time, you know? So I remember that day, I remember thinking to myself, okay, let's network here. So as I walked up and down Fremont Street, which I'd seen on TV, I'm looking for, because when it says your name and it says where you're from.
Yeah.
So I was looking Colt, Ireland, John, Ireland.
Right.
So each place I'd walk into, I'd walk
look
in a
for the
casino.
Irish.
It wasn't like I was searching them out, but I was looking, okay, if I wanted to find, okay, where's the local Irish pub, right?
Yeah.
So eventually that day, walking by TI, walking by the Mirage, and being amazed by all these things, and just being amazed, blown away. I watched in the MGM and I saw this one guy that said Michael Ireland. And I'm like, hey, Michael. And he was a crap stealer. Wish I'd seen him since or whatever like that. But I say, hey, where's the local bar? Where do the guys go here?
Right.
He goes to Crown and Anchor down the street on East Tropicana. Next day I went down there, met up with some guys there. This one guy, hey, I have an apartment right next door. You want? I'm like, perfect. Hey, how about this? He goes, I'm a supervisor at the convention center for security. You want a job? I said, sign me up.
So now you're here.
I want to go to work straight away.
You're here one day and you got a job and you got an apartment.
Well, in a few days, yeah. So I went, didn't pay a lot, but it was great to be going to work and then doing something. And I remember just going well, this is amazing. This is great. Is there a lot of fear? Is there this or that? Of course, there's the questions, a bit of self-doubt. There's always going to be that. Doesn't matter what you do in life. But I've really enjoyed it when I think back about it.
Well, something you said that is so key in business-wise is you're looking with people you could connect with right away, right? And I don't think people realize that. People are willing to help people they see themselves in or whatever, and you seeking out people that had mutual, life stories with or whatever, right? Being from Ireland was very smart, and I think if you're building a new business or you're looking to move to a new market, that's how you got to do it. Because if you go in the wrong place and keep looking, you're not going to connect very well with people.
I agree, and it's always the common threads you look for. I'll tell you a great story from the weekend if you want to hear it. So, I wanted to, with our mortgage and title operations growing, and when you grow and you get bigger and you do things, you piss off the existing establishment, right? They get mad, and it's so funny that people can't believe that you're just successful because you're successful. They think you have to be cheating somehow. So they want to start trying to complain to the different divisions or boards or whatever it is to try to get you in trouble. And it is what it is. It's not a thing. But me being hyper aware that is probably coming, I wanted to get the best representation we could or the best advice we could on things that are compliant within RESPA. So I started doing research for the best RESPA attorney in the country, the person that specializes better in this. And I find that this is the guy that lectures at these major events on joint venture partnerships and affiliates, which is what we do, right? And so I'm like, okay, cool. This is obviously the guy. So I look and I'm like, where does he live? And I'm like, New Orleans.
Oh, really?
So I hit my float group, my Mardi Gras float group. I hit it up and I go, does anybody know this guy? Within 2 seconds, I get, he's his kids are best friends with my kids. I'm like, can you give me a warm intro? Yeah. So here's the best RESPA attorney in the country, and I got to spend 2 hours with him on the phone picking his brain. We've hired him now on retainer, but I got to pick his brain for 2 hours on a Sunday just because I looked for that common thread. I looked for that thread. That would have taken
weeks to try to get past.
Oh, my God, to try to get past his gatekeepers have been a nightmare.
If he wanted to take you on, maybe, right? Like that's the common thread is so key in business, and that was brilliant of you to do.
Yeah. Go find your people, man. Find your people.
It all kind of worked out, and then that job, and then I moved into that condo, and then a friend moved out from New York. He got a job as a manager at the Palm Steakhouse, the Forum Shops at Caesar's Palace. He hired me there as a bartender over there. In the meantime, he introduced me to some other friends that had a room in a house, right? So I move in this house. I get a pool. And now I'm like, what?
Living large.
So now you go from...
Now that's normal, you know? But at that time, for me, moving here to Las Vegas, growing up in Ireland, living in New York, living in London, to have a swimming pool in your house, oh, my God.
Yeah.
You know, and you can swim if you want. Now, you know, it's now I don't swim in February or March.
Sure.
But back then I would have. You know, I'm like, what the hell is going on here? But it was just... You know, and that's what. And
the Palms that was a good stick.
That was a great. That was a great place.
I love that place.
Come with the new guy at the Palm too. I came in there as a new guy, so I worked a lot of lunches. And the Palm at the time was the powerhouse for lunch in town. So I got to see a lot of people in town, and I got to meet a lot of people in town, and to make friends with a lot of good folks in town. That you know, been so fortunate to the folks I've worked with over the years. You know. And then after that, I worked at Morton's on Flamingo for a little bit. And then in 2002, August 2002, 20 years ago.
Yep.
And that's when I got hired at Nine Steakhouse at the Palms. And
which was the spot.
That was the spot. The spot. So it was about 9 months after the Palms was open. I came in there, and you know, it was a great time in Las Vegas.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
That's why I met you.
It was a huge. It was a huge change, a huge time of change, and at the Palms, I feel we were really a big part of that, you know, and it was honored to be a part of it and to experience that the fun we had every day. You know?
That's where we met. My wife obviously worked at the Palms as well.
That's right.
And that's where we met a million years ago.
Pretty much most days there.
Yeah, you did. You did.
Yep.
What do you think made Nine so special? Because I don't know, is there a comparable restaurant in that heyday like of the Nine restaurant? I mean, I don't think there is a comparable restaurant like that.
I think the only thing that might be even remotely close, and I don't necessarily love it as a restaurant, not to speak bad of your competitors, but STK, and I don't love STK, but it's the only thing that I could say remotely has that similar vibe to what Nine did.
But it still doesn't have the
cachet.
The cachet of it. Like, what do you think made Nine so special? I always try to explain that to people, how crazy that was.
You really had a full night right there. You know, you had a great casino.
Yeah.
You know, it was easy to navigate, easy to get around. You'd come have dinner with us. You'd have some wonderful, wonderful food. You know, it was a beautiful room.
Yeah.
With the ceiling changing, and a cool crowd.
Yeah.
It was just a great scene right there.
But the room itself was pretty simple. It was the crowd that made it
never knew who
special.
you'd see. You never knew who you'd see. What kind of celebrity was going to be there?
Right.
We're very fortunate with celebrities. Lots of different many people. It's funny seeing people on TV. I'm like, oh, I remember he was at Nine Steakhouse, or she was at Nine Steakhouse, or like Britney getting married or something, and being part of that whole thing, you know. But that definitely that celebrity thing really helped us out a lot. Yeah. And then once you dinner with us, you were able to go to Ghost Bar. You were able to go to Rain. You were able to go to Playboy. You were able to go to Moon. And that entertainment flowed on through the evening. And we were so locals too. Accessibility wise, had a lot to do with it as well. Being able to come in, valet at the front, and you're right there, and you're in the door, or shoot around the back, come in the back way, right off the strip right there. I think that was a lot to do with it too. And what Michael did, and Michael and Scotty did, just creating those venues, creating that excitement, and hiring the right people. We worked with some great, cool people that led us. With Michael Morton today, that I'm with Michael 20 years now.
Yeah,
very, very, very fortunate, and he lets our personality come out. You know, he wants you to be like that. We're not working at, at the other larger hotels where. You know, this is what you can't show your personality. You know, it's like be quiet. You know, be service, be quiet. But it's for me, that's one of the cool things.
When Nine shut down and they were going to switch it over to Scotch 80, did they offer you to stay on at Scotch 80? Did they want you to stay there, or were you gone before? Did you?
I was already gone in 2012.
You'd already done La Comida downtown.
Yeah. Well, no, we opened La Comida downtown on 6th and Fremont. Love La Comida. I still spend some time down there. We just started doing brunch down there, actually.
Yeah, I love La Comida.
Yeah, so I just down there on Saturday. I stopped by there and stuff. Yeah. Just had my birthday there too. So
let me ask a different. Sorry, let me ask a different question. The Mortons. was not, you said you worked at Morton's for a short amount of time. Did you get a relationship with them there, or was it strictly from the Palms when they really knew who you were?
Oh, Michael Morton, yes.
Yeah.
Well, Michael's dad actually sold Morton's about 50 years ago. So there's no
affiliation there.
No affiliation whatsoever.
Okay.
So Michael opened Nine Steakhouse and the Nine Group at the Palms back in 2001.
Okay.
And then I joined Michael and Jenna then in 2002 at Nine Steakhouse when I called him Mr. Morton.
Right. Yeah.
And now it's Michael. Yeah. So we've been together, and we're very close too as well. Our friendship.
When did you leave? When did you leave Nine? When did you?
2012, September 2012.
You went where? Straight to La Comida.
Yes, that's when. So a short time after that, then I joined forces then with Michael and Jenna Morton again, and we opened up La Comida downtown in May 2013.
But at that point, you go from being bartender to being partner.
Yes, I became partners then with Michael and Jenna.
So I love that, because look, there's two ways to get into business in this world, right? There's two ways. You can either have the money to do it, or you can sweat into it. And I've done both. Yeah. I've done both of them. So I appreciate it so much. And what was that process like of you going, of them coming to you and you talking about what you could do and what you thought? Was it your vision? Was it their vision? Did they want to plug you in? What was that process like of going from the guy behind the bar to being now a partner? What was that like?
Pretty cool, John. It's like, when you make it partner, it sounds like a law firm or something. You know,
it is a little. It is a little.
You know,
bit.
we're a hospitality company, so it's real simple. We just try to take care of our guests one guest at a time, and for me, being behind the bar all the time, trying to just take care of them one guest at a time, and have them come back.
Was La Comida your idea or Michael's?
Oh
idea?
No. All Michael's.
All
idea.
Michael's, and he just said, "Hey, 100%. I think you'd be great for this."
Yes, myself, anything I can do to help. So Michael's the boss. Michael's the boss. And
what do you think made you stand out, right? Like, because I do know multiple people that know you, right? We don't really know each other, but I do know, and everybody's got the same thing as what John said. Like, he's an amazing person, human being, great. Do you think that that's what makes you stand out, is your customer service?
Did you have a martini as well before you came in?
No, but I love customer service, and I spend money eating out, and I hate getting bad customer service.
Yeah.
And it seems like John and I always preach this. There's been a lot lately. Like, we went to go see you, actually. You weren't there, and we ended up having a drink somewhere else. And we ordered.
He wasn't there. Remember, I told you we were in a couple weeks before.
Yeah, I think I had COVID that week.
Yeah, you were
3 weeks ago, a month ago.
You were
so we were in another restaurant.
Tried to see you.
30 minutes later, we still hadn't got a drink. No one's even said hi to us. Like,
may all those places keep doing what they do.
Right.
Yes.
Well, I don't mean that at all. But I think that for us, one of the things that I've learned over the years, and I think you'll learn when we go out to different places, the key for our business, for me, I feel, is acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Just
to be acknowledged.
Tell that to people.
Just to be acknowledged. When people come in for the first time to one steakhouse, or it's their returning time, or it's their 10th time, like when you came John. Their first time is really important to make that connection with them. Mm-hmm. If somebody's waiting for me, I like to give them a smile, a look, or say something. But some kind of acknowledgement. Yeah. Just let them know that we care, because that first hit, that first hit of something coming into our environment, and to have them coming back is like, oh, yeah, he said hi. Wow, they're so friendly. Like, what happens when you go up to the hostess stand and the hostess is a bit off, or she's too busy, or this, and you're like, you walk away going, oh, they're a pain in the ass over there.
That's John's.
Right? Isn't that what happens? What you have a negative feeling towards.
Well, you just sit there and you're like, let's go find somewhere else, and you walk out on hundreds of dollars of stuff. Right?
One of my biggest peeves about Vegas restaurants, and I'll tell you what it is I hate these places that hire the super hot 19-year-old Instagram model hostesses, because they don't want to be there. They're angry they're there. They'd rather be working at Hakkasan, bringing bottles to tables with a sparkler, making $150,000.
Yeah.
They don't want to be there. So, but you look at, conversely, and we use the Palm as an example a lot of time. You walk up and the maitre d's there. He is always happy to see me. He's always glad I'm there. Yeah. The 19-year-old Instagram model's pissed she has to stop knowing what she's doing to talk to me. So I don't know why they keep doing that. It drives me crazy. But I think, you want to know what his magic is. I'll kind of tell you what I think it is. I've never heard anybody, when I've talked to, I know a lot of people that know you. We know a lot of the same people.
I should come here more often. This is a wonderful place.
No, but here it is.
We bring people on that are good at what they do.
Here's the truth, and this is what you should strive for. I've never heard anybody say you make good drinks, ever. And I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying you look at what your function, like when you're behind that bar, you're the guy that brings the drinks and does whatever. I've never heard one person say you make drinks, but everybody says you're amazing at what you do. And because what you do has nothing to do with drinks. And I think that is what makes an elite customer experience. If you can transcend whatever service or process or thing you're trying to do to give these people and just make them feel special in a way that they don't anywhere else, it's going to be really hard for you to be successful. I mean, you can't just make shit drinks, but it's going to be really hard for you to be not successful at what you do. So I have a question. Here's my next question. Do you think you have a photographic memory?
I remember the times. I remember what we've spoken about, or I remember something. I don't have a photographic memory, but I do remember experiences, with people.
My question was going to be, do you correlate people to things?
Like, how do you remember people's names? Because everybody.
I think that we're getting way too deep on this. Photographic memory.
This is how you help people.
For me,
what we do.
For me, it's just part of the business. It's part of the business. It's about the acknowledgement, about being recognized. How does that make you feel? You come in the other night, you're like, wow. And we've been friends a long time, so we're gonna have that acknowledgement right there. But the person that comes back the second, the third time, that's the impact right there. Someone stay in the hotel, you get them on the first night.
Right.
My dream is to have them come back the second.
Yeah.
I'm like, I will, and try to get their name, and we just have fun, and I love that first interaction. I love having and for us, we got some great food. We got some great drinks.
Oh,
yeah.
We have a great experience for you.
Well, I think, again,
we have a great, my God, like that bone-in filet, that ribeye, our sides, our side dishes, like, I'm getting hungry right now.
Well, I think then that goes to also say that if you don't 100% believe in the product that what you're selling, it's really hard to be enthusiastic at that point.
I'm so fortunate again, like Chef Pat at One Steakhouse, like, Chef Mario at La Comida. Yeah. These guys, they have the same passion. They have the same passion, driven from Michael Morton and Jenna Morton into, that just enjoy what we do, and to love it, and to put that love into what we do, to care. To have that ownership of it just makes me feel good.
Right.
If the product was bad, would you stay?
Product's never been bad for us.
No, I'm hype. I know no chance it's going to be bad. I'm saying hypothetically speaking.
We'd never get to that stage.
Just wouldn't even do it.
Yeah, we got some great people with us, and they're not.
Just that level of excellence is so programmed.
We get taken care of. Why would you? And learn about each other. Yes.
That level of excellence just so programmed to the ethos of what you're.
Even that salmon we have on the lobster butter sauce.
This is not customer service, but even
our product. There we go. That's how it works.
But boys, it's down to acknowledgement. I walked to my dry cleaners the other day, and there was one person in front of me. The lady was on her own. I'm standing there, and I'm like, okay. And then she goes, hey, I'll be with you in a couple minutes. I'm on my own. And guess what? I already feel like I should go back and help her out.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, take your time. If that took 10 minutes, I would have been fine.
Right.
Yeah.
But the fact that I got acknowledgement.
Yeah.
And that's the key. The key to everything, really, I suppose, in us as humans, is that we want to be here. We want to be acknowledged. I'm not an important, especially when people come into a place like One Steakhouse or any of our venues. We gotta just hey, gotcha. Yeah. And then where are you from? Oh wow, yeah, I've been there. Yeah.
So is there a technique, again, back to the memory? Is there a technique you use to remember somebody's name, or do you just remember it?
It's just now I don't remember everybody's name.
Right.
See, it feels like you do, though. It so feels like you do.
Well. You just got me in the right nights, John.
So maybe I am special then. I don't know. Who knows? No, maybe I am.
But do you think that you subconsciously do, like, I walked in and you already put my name with something, right? Like, do you think you do that with everybody? Or was my name just unique that you're like, oh, do you ever heard this?
I think you're Colt Sievers, right? The fall guy from back in the day. That's what name association right there. But
Not with everybody.
He's kind of the fall guy of this show.
I'm always the fall guy. My mom named me after.
So it makes
it's so funny because I
finally
found out what I was truly named after because my mom would reference it, but she didn't know like the exact thing until you just came in.
Yeah, no, and he actually had his name legally changed from Bitch Amidan to Colt a couple of years ago. So there you go.
Such a dick. Yeah. Such a dick. Whatever.
Oh boy.
But so I hate this guy. So what's one of the wilder nights you've had at work?
Oh boy.
Ooh, Vegas
Saturday. Saturday when there was literally almost a fist fight between.
No, that was in the casino.
Oh boy.
That was just a misunderstanding from a couple of people, which I thought was highly entertaining too.
It was entertaining,
and nobody, it was just fun. A couple of people having a couple of words, but that's what happens, right?
That's what happens.
That's what happens.
Welcome to Vegas.
Got to tell you, so fun night or whatever. So my birthday, I'm Irish Mexican, right? So I was born, I'm not Irish Mexican. Yeah. So I was born in Cinco de Mayo. So when we opened La Comida, I always made the joke about I'm Irish Mexican. So I had like a get together at La Comida and invited tons of people down there, and probably a lot of people, probably 150, 200 people came throughout the day and throughout the night, and I was like, oh my God, I just felt so honored. And that people came to La Comida. They were able to enjoy our food. They enjoy the good times. But see that sense of the community again when I'm talking about how the happiness that it gave me. That they're all friends and good guests of ours for many years.
Right.
But now they're all get to see each other that night. Hey. So that connection through our community within the restaurant is the part that makes me happy. So that's so personal satisfaction. That's like way up there. Yeah. I mean,
you ever hear like a husband getting yelled at by his wife for gambling too much? Because I notice when people are in fights, they don't realize that people are sitting next to them.
Right next to them.
Like I hear some interesting fights.
It doesn't happen as much. I wish, not that I wish it would happen, but we all like good entertainment, don't we? Really,
Oh my God.
Because I do. Like there's times I'm sitting at a bar and I hear some
just because your wife yells at you more than most, don't try to justify how people yell. Not everybody's wife yells at them, Colt. This isn't a problem exclusive
if I could have just a fun story on something like that. It's just about a month ago, I remember there was one night and this gentleman came in and he had with his family and with his wife and everything. The family and the wife, and they take off, and then all of a sudden he arrives back an hour later with
a different girl,
with a young lady from I think she might have worked in the gentleman's establishment in town, but I was like, wow, that's interesting move right there. But
that's a boss.
Hey, whatever you want to do, none of my business.
That might be a power move.
That is a power move. They go the same one.
That's a bad move.
That's a bad power move, but it is a power move. Do you see a lot of that?
No.
Because you've always worked at, 9 probably a little less, but like the Palm and
not to see a lot of like people, like we see a lot of people having fun and having a good time.
Yeah, it's like, it's so funny, man. In this town, you think it runs rampant. I think it runs rampant in any town. I think you just see it here. But we've always said here, that's like one of my things. Like if you cheat on your wife, I won't do business with you. Because if you'll screw your wife over, what are you going to do to me?
Yeah, you screw her.
It's always been one of my ethoses, and I don't break that. And I've actually had some partnerships where people have done that, and I've been like, and I'm out.
Yep.
Yeah. Because I wasn't going to wait for the other shoe to drop, and that's how it is. So let me ask you this, because you are the keeper of so many great places here in Vegas, and it is a lot of people's dream to move here and get in the hospitality business. So what do you, obviously the standard that you guys hold within the Morton family of restaurants is so high. What do you look for in people that you hire, especially front of the house that are dealing with guests? What qualities are you looking for in those people?
Customer service. What's your interaction? Right. How are you going to be with a guest? Is the guest going to feel comfortable? Do you really care? Do you really care? Do you really care about what we do, or are you just coming for the paycheck and going home that night? Are you going to show up early and go home late? And that's key for us. How are you going to be with our guests? But how are you going to mix with the rest of us as well? Are we all going to get along?
How quick are you to pull the plug on people that don't hold that?
I don't get involved in any of that at all. That's
somebody else's job.
That's for our general manager, or the managers, or Michael. And
I come on to like a 30-day trial period type like other
I
places?
I don't really get into that whole how that works or whatever like that. You know, we're in the hospitality business, so you know there's in-house hospitality too of taking care of our fellow employees as well. They're able to take care of our guests. So if we've got a great atmosphere within it's funny. I just played golf with our general manager yesterday, Dustin, and we were just talking afterwards at lunch about how the whole place. I was saying how great like our bus boys and the servers. If I need something, they're always there like that to help out. You don't necessarily get that in every place in town. But but once you have a great working vibe with people, and when you have a great product, when you have great food and great drinks, and if you're able to have fun with each other, but get the job done in a professional manner and make the guest happy, that's what hospitality is all about right there. Our in-house guests, ourselves, and our front of house guests, and that's the key right there. Yeah.
Well, dude, you know what, man? On that, I think we're going to wrap it up, dude. If you want to see a master at work, I mean, a true master at his craft, and really learn what it is, and eat great food as a bonus to that. I mean, I find me. Being in the hospitality business that I was early in my career, and then just sitting there, just master his craft. I love watching it. If you want to see that, where can they find you? What nights? Where? How am I going to find you?
Johnny, Colt Sievers, Johnny. We'll look forward to seeing you on Gidget. Please, God, soon on Colt. Of course, I'd love to see you have again. We'll have those strong martinis too.
I'll bring my wife where she can yell at me, and it'll be entertaining.
Perfect. See, there you go. That's
well, I'll be actually right after I leave here. I'll be heading over to One Steakhouse at the Virgin Hotel. And I'm usually there like Tuesday to Saturday. And then we also have La Comida downtown, which we just started doing brunch. So I kind of hang out there a lot of Saturdays and Sundays.
And then the other two restaurants are in
we have Crush, our American Grill at the MGM. And also we have the Greek Sneak, our Greek restaurant, right beside Crush at the MGM. And we have La Cave at the Wynn.
That's my Mother's Day brunch spot.
Yeah.
My Mother's Day brunch
God, it's such a beautiful. We have those windows open now. Overlooking the pool.
Gorgeous.
Nice breeze at nighttime, and you see all the Vegas color and wonderful things.
I love it. I love it. Well, John, thank you so much, man.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. Thanks for having me here today.
No, of course.
I need to come back here more often.
Anytime, right? Anytime.
I hear you talking. I'm like, who are they talking about?
Who's this guy walking through the door?
I'm like, hold on. How strong was that martini?
Anytime. And guys, listen, if you, again, like I said when we started this, if you got a business and we're going into some weird times, man. It is a weird time with the economy and inflation and everything else. And you're good. The markets, I don't care what market you're in, it's going to constrict. And if you want to survive and make it from one side of this to the other, making sure that you take care of your customers and have that elite level of customer experience is something that's so important. So take the advice of my good friend, John O'Donnell. It's all about how they feel, man. It's more important how they feel than what you can actually do.
Look these are huge restaurants in a huge, you're ground zero of amazing restaurants.
Yeah.
And it's because you worked your ass off, right? Where people noticed it and everything. So if you're a waiter, waitress, or whatever, and you think, why I'm just here just to make a quick tip, somebody's watching you at all time. And it can be life-changing.
That's it. So strive for that elite level of customer experience. I promise it will change your business. And if you're going to move, remember, guys, keep moving forward. See you next time.
Oh, that was great, guys.
Hey, it's John Gafford. If you want to catch up more and see what we're doing, you can always go to thejohngafford.com, where we'll share any links things we talked about on the show, as well as links to the YouTube where you can watch us live. And if you want to catch up with me on Instagram, you can always follow me at thejohngafford. I'm here. Give me a shout.